reminded this morning of something George Burns said. He said, the secret of a good sermon is to have a good beginning and a good ending and to have them as close together as possible. So I will try to lift my standards to meet that and still give you some substance. How about that? My title this morning is What Does It Take? And it is about dreaming, and it's about achieving your dreams and goals more. So I'm going to talk in depth about a word I've used a lot of times, and I've talked a bit about, but today we're going to go deeply into the concept of commitment, because without commitment, nothing is accomplished. Nothing can move and nothing can be done. I want to talk about what commitment is and what it isn't. I want to talk about what commitment requires and what is the experience of commitment. What does that feel like? What does it look like? And the benefits and rewards of commitment, because there are many. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe said this about it. He said, the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man could have dreamed would have come his way. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. That's my time. No. That's enough if you can get it. So what is commitment? I told the story before, but the clearest illustration I have is the difference between a chicken and a pig in a ham and egg breakfast. The chicken is involved and the pig is committed. Okay. Webster's dictionary tells us that somebody finally got it.
Say it again.
The difference between a pig and a chicken in a ham and egg breakfast is that the chicken is involved, but the pig is committed.
Fully.
That's pretty definite commitment. Webster's dictionary tells us that to commit means to pledge or to bind. And I would ask, what to pledge or to bind to what? What do you think? The answer is simple. You commit or bind yourself to an idea first. An idea first. Commitment enables us to persist in bringing that idea into fruition. Persistence. Calvin Coolidge said this about persistence. He said, nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts.
Nice.
Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. And it's true. And someone named Julien Lopetegui said, the only recipe is hard work, persistence, and belief. And I believe that's true. A couple of examples in my own life are worth mentioning. I'm kind of an expert at commitment, I think, because when I was very young, I committed very young, like from the age of 5 on, I pleaded and begged, 7 I started, but I committed myself to learning to play the piano, and some of you know I'm an accomplished pianist, and I committed to do that no matter what it took, and nothing was going to get me away from that. And even when I started taking lessons, I was not thinking about what it would be down the road. I was thinking about what stood before me to do in that lesson, to perfect whatever the teacher was delivering to me in that lesson, again and again and again. And my mother used to come to me and say, you've been on that thing for 3 hours, come eat dinner. Because I couldn't get me away from it. And it did pay off. It did pay off. The other thing more recently that I committed to, and there are a number of commitments in between, but I committed about, I go back 5 or 6 years it started. First to lose weight was the first commitment. And times I lost some weight and then I plateaued and I stayed there for a few years and then I decided I wanted to get down to the ideal weight for my size and body type. And I have. And I did that with the same kind of commitment. And the commitment was, I hated it when people said I was dieting, because I was not dieting. I was changing my lifestyle, and I was. Because my commitment was to get to a certain point. I had a definite point I wanted to get to. I did not have a timetable for it. I have to say that. They say you want to have a timetable for all of your goals. But this was not a timetable I set. I said, whatever it takes, however long it takes, that's the goal and that's where I'm going. And when I got to certain points, I would reward myself with something I shouldn't eat. But I did, a dessert here, and an appletini there. But I would have that because I eliminated some foods from my diet. And I did. And I had fun with it. That's the neat part. I enjoyed it because it was progressing. And I measured it as I went. And it went well. The next commitment was a harder one for me. To exercise. To get my body fit. Because I lost all the weight and I looked in the mirror and I went, ugh. I was thinner, but ugh. No muscle tone. Ugh. So I knew, and I looked around at people my age, people of a certain age, and I looked around and I saw things I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be hampered. I didn't want to be limited. So I decided I would move. And I went, and I got a trainer because I knew I'd hurt myself if I didn't. And I made the same kind of commitment. That commitment was that I would begin an exercise regimen and learn about how to exercise and move my body so it was beneficial to me. And I would do it, 90 minutes a week isn't much, people. I did it 2 days a week for about 40, 45 minutes at a stretch. And I said I would give it a year before I would look to see if there was any benefit. Which is really a good thing, because I have a good friend of mine he's a bit overweight and he wants to lose weight and tone up. He's my age exactly. And he's calling me to advise him because he said, I went to the gym and I exercised for 3 months and it didn't do a thing. And I thought, didn't do anything because he didn't get enough time. But I didn't say that to him. I did help him. But you can't do it. It's the slowest process I've ever seen to exercise. But it's worth every moment of it. There's a wonderful saying on the wall in one of the gyms I go to that it says, is it a slow process? Yes. But stopping doesn't make it go any faster. So anyway, I've done these things in my life, and commitment is really another word for devotion, I found. Devotion to our ideals. Devotion to the truth. Devotion to love and a higher experience, whatever that may be. And each one of us has a dream. Someone asked me before the service, I want to know how to find a dream, how to make a dream. And I think to discover the dream that's right for you, the next dream, the next adventure for you, I think we need to get real quiet within ourselves and listen to ourselves. We know what's good for us. We know what we want if we get quiet and believe that we're worthy of having that higher experience that we're after. We can have a dream for the world and participate in that too. It's all from a dream within ourselves. Here's some things I've learned through the adventure of commitment. That impatience is your enemy. Being impatient is your enemy. It encourages you to give up before giving whatever a chance of succeeding. And I think that if you really develop a persistent attitude that says, I'm going to get there no matter what, in harmony with life, of course, but no matter what, that patience comes in with that. Because I'm going to enjoy the experience and I'm going to get there, so every step I take is going to be in that direction. Commitment does consist of measurable goals. For without specific goals, how can you measure it? How can you know it's being accomplished? I still do, to this day, stand on the scale every single day. I have a friend friend who said they got rid of all the scales in their house because they didn't want to see what it said. That's kind of not the way to go. I mean, I stood on it when I didn't like what it said because I wanted to see it. I wanted to see the progression of it going down, 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 down. And I didn't listen to all the naysayers who say, when you're over 60, losing weight is hard. I can't say the word in church, but it's not true. You know, oh Putinki, oh bullhorns. Okay, anyway, commitment is a dogged thing. It demands persistent and even embracing what appears to be less than success, still continuing to persist. Still continuing, even adjusting your path if it's necessary, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Achieving success after making such a commitment, after being relentless in its pursuit, is a wondrous thing. And it feels so good. I remember what someone gave me, the gift someone gave me when I was losing weight. They said, just remember that nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Nothing tastes as good as slender feels. So being slender is, and it's true, I think. It is uplifting and gratifying and encourages a deep contentment and belief in oneself to achieve something you set out to through a serious commitment. And one of my favorite books is something called The Black Butterfly, An Invitation to Radical Awareness, or Aliveness, Radical Aliveness. And it's by Richard Moss. He's an MD. He says it's good to extend oneself out to life while gently superimposing the certainty of physical death. There's a muting of harsh edges, a gentling of the urges and the hidden absolutes, a subtle stirring and lifting in the hidden corners of our being to do that. To just go full out in life, even though we know we're mortal. Commitment is a gift we give ourselves. It's a gift you give yourself. And it's not a vague thing. It's tangible, it's definite, it's unwavering, and visible. It's not, Nietzsche said, I think, therefore I am. He didn't say, I presume, therefore I may be. Okay. What's the difference between interest and commitment, besides the pig and the chicken? Interest reads a blog post. Commitment applies what's in that post day after day. Interest works an hour a day on your goal. Commitment works at it regularly, however much time that is invested. Interest procrastinates. Commitment focuses on what's important to do today. Interest makes excuses, and commitment acquires new skills and solutions. If this doesn't work, I'll try this. And we have to give this, whatever we're trying, enough time to work, which is why patience is important. If you're committed, if you want it bad enough, you will find a way to make it happen. You will find it. And here are the 4 concrete steps. 4 concrete steps. The first thing is to get your mindset right. Get clear about what you're after, define it, and go after it. Get your mindset right. It starts with your mindset. In order to go all out and make progress, you must make the decision at a core level to hold nothing back in doing it. I'm going to be this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have it happen for me. Or in me, or whatever. You must take a good look at your life and decide that nothing is going to stand in your way of success at achieving this thing. And refine your goals. Before you do anything, get ruthlessly clear about what your ultimate outcome must be. I think that is essential. Timetables can vary, but this is what I'm moving toward always. There's a woman, her name escapes me. I'm taking a class. Starting a class called Prosperity Plus with her. And she says that you don't work toward your vision, you work from your vision. You work with it as such an integral part of you that you already believe it for yourself is happening, and you move toward the actualization of it. That's what she's talking about. Moving from a consciousness that's mine. and it's done. And I think that's really good. Nail down exactly what you want, how you're going to get there, and on what sort of time plan you'd like to reach your destination. The key is to sculpt a vision that is so freaking awesome that you are willing to do anything to achieve it. Hold yourself accountable. To keep your momentum going and avoid having enthusiasm and motivation diminish, you need a way to hold yourself accountable. That doesn't mean punish yourself if you fall back down or fall back. It means keeping the vision so you step forward again and feeling you're worth it. You can break your goal down into weekly and daily goals. If it's a big goal, you can do that so it's measurable. At the beginning of each week, write down your top goals for the next 7 days before you go to bed at night. 2 or 3 tasks you can do tomorrow. Do them, and then go to bed with a clear conscience. That's one way of doing it. Tell others what you're doing. Tell those closest to you about the goals you're trying to reach. In my case, it was my husband. And it's fun to go to the gym together. That was really fun. It still is. Even if your reactions are less than supportive, getting your ambitions out in the open will help you stay committed. Stating out loud and saying it, yeah, I'm doing this. Join a community. Surround yourselves with like-minded people who are rooting for and expecting for your success to be extremely powerful. You can, if you can, this kind of thing can provide you with confidence and motivation you need. I'm not the only one struggling with this. I'm not the only one doing this. That's why there's things like, even at the gym I've met people, and I meet people who are far buffer than I am. I also meet people who are really, really need the exercise and some diet help. But it's fine because I'm in the middle and I like that. I feel good and I like that. I get to see somebody I admire, I go, yeah, I'd like to be like that. Of course she's 35, but hey, I can dream. Ask yourself, what are you holding back? What is stopping you from living the life that you imagine for yourself? What? What could it possibly be? What's the worst that could happen? The worst that can happen is nothing changes and you're right where you are. How bad can that be? What's the worst that can happen if you decided to wholeheartedly commit yourself to achieving your goals? Probably nothing bad. If you've been waiting for the stars to align in your favor, if you've been waiting for the perfect moment to arrive, I've got some news for you. It'll never come. There's never a perfect time to start anything. The perfect time is now. There will always be a new problem standing for you to seize on, something you need to do before you can fully commit yourself. Somebody named William James once said, to change one's life, start immediately. Do it flamboyantly, no exceptions. That's it. Life is short. Find something worthy of your commitment and give it your all starting now. And from Zen. In Zen they say the result is not the point. It is the effort to improve oneself that is valuable. There is no end to this practice. And it could be a little dream, it could be a big dream, it doesn't matter. The bigger the dream, the more I suggest you break it down into pieces. I encourage you to consider what is worth committing yourself to in your life. What you'd like to commit yourself to, what you'd like to accomplish. This is early in the year. Make it your theme for the year. And I encourage you to invest in yourself in this dream, in this goal, wholeheartedly. Give yourself the gift of conscious and joyful commitment. You'll be surprised how wonderful you feel. I would say choose to be the pig and not to chicken out, lest we rob ourselves of the wonderful rewards of fulfillment, prosperity, joy, health, and all that commitment offers. And I saw this on a greeting card, so I thought I would share it with you. Take a risk, take a chance. Join the club, join the dance. Learn to fly, learn to soar. Strive for joy, strive for more. Be brave, just do. Be brave. Be you. Where will you start? What commitment are you willing to make in your life? And let today be the day. A new beginning, a new vitality, a new you. Thank you. Namaste.